In this week's daily races, you drive a people carrier around Tokyo, race GR3 cars at Sardegna, and we have 24 laps of Spa. Here we are, welcome back to the channel for the latest video on GT7, and we're looking at this week's daily races. If we click on to daily race A, we're in the Hiace van. We're one of 3 new cars from the latest update. We've got 4 laps around Tokyo. Honestly, someone must have been having a joke with this combination. This is possibly one of the worst combinations we've seen in the game so far. But yeah, each to their own. Fancy driving a bus or a people carrier around Tokyo, then go for it. But onto race C, we're in the GR2 cars. We're at Spa, we've got 24 laps, so this is around about a 50-minute race. It's going to be a long one. The fuel, we're looking at ×1, tyre wear is ×2, and we're looking at racing medium tyres, mandatory. I don't think there's any weather on this one, so it looks like a pretty solid medium, as 1 pit stop is mandatory also. So we've got 2 completely different races compared from daily race A to daily race C. But that's Spa. If you fancy a long one, have a go on daily race C, but we're going to concentrate on the middle one for now, and we're at Sardegna in the GR3 cars. Now this is straightforward, it's a 5-lap race. We've got fuel and tyre wear ×1, not an issue at all. When racing medium tyres, there's no pit stop required, so this is just plug and play, nice and easy. I think it's a nice little middle ground considering we've got the nightmare of daily race A and an epic long daily race C. So we're going to choose the Supra, the GR3 car. I see a lot of people using this one or the Genesis, but we're going to go for the Supra and we're going to put on these racing medium tyres. We're going to head off to qualifying time trial and let's set a lap. So assists, we're running TC on 1, brake balance we've got +2 to the rear. Counter steer we've got off, and ABS we're trying on weak this time. So traction control on 1 just helps me a little bit with this car. It's quite temperamental, not the nicest car to drive. We'll see what we can do to get you high up this grid. We're using the Ghost, the fastest driver in the world, so we'll try and keep up with him if we can. The first braking point, we're looking for that red paint on the barrier. We're going to brake in just before we get there. And we're coming down to second gear. This really awkward first corner. Really difficult to get this one right. We're going to power out in third gear. Avoid the sand on the outside, that'll just kill your time completely. Hold it flat for that little right left kink. The next section we're looking at this 50 board just in front there. We're going to hit the brakes just as we get to that 50 board. And we're going to turn as you're braking here. As you come off the brakes, the car will slide in nicely. You can stay in third there, or you can drop down to second. As the car comes straightens up, we're down to first gear. Try and avoid this curb on the right hand side if you can. And accelerate in second gear and use all the curb on the exit. This next tricky left-hander, we're looking for that 50 board again, and we're going to be braking just after that 50 board. And you're kind of trail braking into this left-hander. You've got to get as close to this barrier on the left-hand side as you can. Now I use these marshals on the right-hand side there as a kind of reference point to when to start accelerating. But be careful on the throttle as well, you can get really eager and that's a really difficult one to get right. Essential as well because you've got a nice long uphill run onto the next left hairpin, so you're going to lose a lot of time in that corner. Let's go into this tricky one. We're going to slow it down. We're looking out for the 100 board, but we're braking before we get to that 100 board. You don't want to be braking on that 100 board, otherwise you'll completely outbrake yourself and end up in the barrier. Go on to first gear, release the brakes, let the car rotate round and straight into second under acceleration. So not bad so far. Now this next tricky section, we're flat out on this right hander, we're going to stay to the right hand side, we're looking out for the edge of the curb. What we're going to do, we're going to brake as we get to the edge of that curb into fourth gear, really get close, really committed into this left hander, close to that barrier and on that throttle as early as you can. Very important corner, you can make a lot of time up there. We're looking for the 100 board again, and we're going to brake just as we get to that 100 board in a straight line. Turning, we're going to come down to first gear this time. Again, release the brakes, let the car rotate round. Accelerate in second gear, but be careful on that throttle. And then we're flat out now all the way to the finish. So this last corner, nice and smooth inputs, absolutely flat out, no issues there. And a straight run to the line. We're going to come across the line for a 1:39.468. Which is not a bad time overall, puts us P29 in the world at the time of recording. So definitely a lot more time. I think we can gain another 2 or 3 tenths, especially on that first corner. Really difficult to get right. We're going to have a look at the chase cam as well, just to show you how much of the track we can actually use. Avoid that curb on the inside as well, and avoid that sand on the exit. One thing I forgot to mention, short shift this car. If you look, we're shifting around about 3/4 of the way up. You don't want to be revving this car out. You get more speed and faster by shifting about 3/4 of the way up the rev counter. You can experiment with different cars in this one. Like I said, I think we've got some people using the Genesis. We're using the Super. We jumped in and did a few laps. I haven't tried the Genesis out, but so I'm not entirely sure how that one handles. We tried changing brake balance to the front as well, but I think +2 for me felt a little bit better. The Sardegna is one of these tracks where you can really nail a lap, and then for the next kind of 4 or 5 laps you get absolutely nowhere or mess the corner up. There's a lot of corners here that are really crucial. You have to be really committed, so if you get them slightly wrong it messes your whole lap up. But let me know if this does help. Like and subscribe to the channel. We'll do a lot more of these, as well as your 2 million time trial credit guides, RTR League Racing and CTC Cup action too. But for now we'll leave you with the replay as usual, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ladies.